Because another thing that I really like about how David thinks and how he feels and how he prays here is that he doesn't just end things in this psalm with his personal feelings, his personal situations, and what he wants of God. He ends his praise and his prayer by declaring his openness and his submission to God and what God wants of him, with some of the smartest, wisest, and most powerful words for you, for me, forever, about how we can pray in the right mindset, in the right way. And now believe me, it's David. He went there. He's not afraid to tell God what he felt and what he wanted. Look, he said pretty much, my enemies and your enemies, God, I want them smited and smited forever. But then I love this, at the end, he kind of dials back his tune and he kind of says, look, but though, God, search me. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and then lead me in the way that is true and everlasting. Lead me. Search me, test me, lead me. If you want to pray right, if you want to live right, if you want to be right, then circle those three phrases. Make them part of your attitude in prayer, in life. That God, nothing is hidden from you. So everything that I pray, I say, I feel, I do, I bend my knee, I bow my head, I open my life, I submit my heart to you. I allow you, I even invite you to search me, to test me, to lead me. Or in his native Hebrew, David actually said, Kakarini, Beccanini, Unachini. Like you bet your yellow polka dot bikini, I'm ending this prayer right? He says, God, search me. Look inside of my heart. Look inside of my thoughts and my motives and my intentions, my lusts, my desires, my dreams, my joys, my passions. Because before you, I am nothing but an open book. So go ahead, read me and even read between the lines. You, God, already have the warrant. And crazy me, I even signed off on it. Search me inside and out. God, test me. I won't get any smarter if teacher don't test me. Right? I won't get any stronger if coach don't test me. And God won't become I won't become the fuller, better, healthier person that you created me to be, God, unless you test me. And just like teacher and coach test you because they believe that you have been given what it takes to pass the test, God tests us to advance us to better places, stronger places. And God, in everything, you're more than just my teacher and my coach. You are my Lord, you're my leader, you're my king and my captain. So lead me in the better ways, your way that's everlasting. Tell you what, you want to let the rubber hit the road of this kind of praying? Maybe next to those circles around search me, test me, lead me, maybe write down there Galatians 5:22 through 23. You know what that is. It sounds familiar. It's the fruit that God wants growing inside of you, follower of Jesus. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. What if you were to pray for God to search, test, and lead you in those? That'd be like nitty-gritty spiritual praying. Like take love, right? God, search inside me for any unloving ways in my life. Reveal those to me. And then in the safety net of your love for me, that's always going to be there, test my ability to love well. Because God, I want you to lead me to be a more loving person. How about patience, right? God, search me. Find any impatient ways in me today, and there's plenty. Right? And then, I can't even believe I'm asking this, but test my patience today, right? Because you know life is anyway. Right, and lead me to be a more patient person today. or faithfulness. God, search me. Are there any unfaithful ways in me, in my relationship with you, in my marriage, in my parenting, in my responsibilities? Reveal those to me. And then when life and situations come in and test my faithfulness, help me to stand strong, because I want you to lead me to be a more faithful person. And then when life and situations test me and test my faithfulness, man, just help me. Lead me to be a better person, a more faithful person. Self-control, right? The last one on the list. I mean, that's a doozy. God, search me. Look inside for any ways, inside or out, where I'm just out of control, or at least I'm definitely not in control. Whether it's the anger on the inside or the violent outbursts on the outside, the lust on the inside or the porn or the immorality on the outside, the despair on the inside or the drinking, drugs, or any other kind of escapism on the outside, the pride, on the inside, or the selfish choices on the outside. Search inside me, God, and help me to be real with you and real with myself, that I would turn to you and address my issues. And God, test my self-control, because I know life's going to do it anyway. But I want you to test and try and refine me stronger, because I want you to lead me to be a more self-controlled person. You see, knowing that your God cares so deeply for you, and that he welcomes you anywhere, anytime, to talk with him about anything that you're facing or you're feeling. That you can trust him to search you, test you, lead you, and only lead into stronger and better places. And that is the absolute best way to live. And it's exactly how David followed through in his own life after he wrote this psalm. Head on back to 2 Samuel 5, this time fast forward to verse 19. When David's enemies, remember, they're all assembled there in that valley. They're ready to attack him and all of Israel. And what is it that he did? Well, you can guess what he did, right? It says that David inquired of the Lord. David inquired of the Lord. He prayed about what he was facing, what he was feeling, what he was wanting. He says, shall I go and attack the Philistines? Will you deliver them into my hands? And the Lord answered him pretty clearly, go straight up at them, for I will surely deliver the Philistines into your hands. And so David, he obeyed. He went to Baal-perazim, and he defeated them. Is that victory is ours? Because he prayed and he followed God's lead. And you will find victories too when you pray and you follow God's lead. But what you find in life is sometimes, that one victory, that one day, that doesn't solve everything for the rest of your life, right? And that one victory of David's didn't solve everything from there on out. I mean, even as a new day often brings new tests. I mean, even after this great victory, given just some time and just a couple verses, go to verse 22 in 2 Samuel 5. Once more, the Philistines, they came up and they spread out in the valley of Rephaim again. And so what did David do again? David inquired of the Lord. He prayed about what he was now facing and feeling in this new day, in this new situation. And God answered in a different way this time. God has a way of doing that, doesn't he? God said, this time, don't go straight up at them, but circle around behind them and attack them in front of the poplar trees. You're like, what? And why the poplar trees? Because as soon as you hear the sound of marching, but it's coming from the tops of the poplar trees, I want you to move quickly. Because that'll mean that the Lord's treetop angel army has already gone out in front of you to strike down the Philistine army. And so David did as the Lord commanded him. He obeyed and struck down the Philistines all the way from Gibeon to Gezer. And they stopped threatening them from that point on. And you're like, victory again, because he prayed and he followed God's lead. May we always pray and follow his lead. So wherever your own Jesus trail finds you today, on the mountaintop, things are great, or in the valley, or somewhere in between, somewhere beautiful, or somewhere frightening, or maybe a little bit of both. Know this, that you've got a God who knows everything. He's present anywhere, anytime. He can do anything. And he is head over heels in love with you. You are his kid, his servant, his follower, and his friend. And in the safety net of his amazing care and love for you, talk to him. Anytime about anything that you're facing or you're feeling, that you're wanting, that you're hoping. No masks, no pretend. He is the best listener. He's the best counselor and comforter, therapist, protector, provider, and waymaker that you will ever have. And he's always in and he's always free of charge. And with all of his love for you, invite him into your life. Weigh in, deep in, saying, search me, test me, lead me in your way that is everlasting. And he will, for his good and for yours too.